Are you ready to
Nice.
do a you know what?
A motherfucking podcast,
Let's
dude?
make another good one for the folks out there.
The year is 2000. Y2K, man. The turn of the fucking millennium. In the infant years of new metal, there was phenomenon that arrived on the scene. And I knew about it long before many people. And the reason why is because a girl that I dated in the late 90s sent me something. So to paint the picture, in the early 2000s, maybe a lot of people know this because Paris Hilton was like one of the people in this type of program, but this is a program where rich parents sent bad kids to rehabilitate, in some cases to avoid jail time. They were pretty common in the upper Northwest. There were some in Utah. That's where Paris Hilton went. And it was supposed to, like, just take at-risk youths and teach them how to be adults, pay rent, pay bills, stay off of drugs, you know, bad kid stuff. And I was in one of those programs for 14 months. I don't know if I've ever told you about this, dude,
No,
but
you haven't.
yeah, dude, I had to go to Oregon and, participate in a in-house, like, what do they call that? It wasn't patient, but, like, yeah, I had to move out of my life and go somewhere that was very emotionally challenging. I think that we did the number shirt a couple episodes ago. That was the 541 on the number shirt where I
How
said
you
that
be one of the stories how you became or to become a man.
become a man, right? Like it was the start of my journey to figure out true emotional intelligence. I learned so much there, but at the time it was very challenging and I received a care package and it was from this girl. This girl was the girl, by the way, that everybody thought I was gonna marry at the time, and in it was a group of CDs, and the reason why she included these CDs is because she had recently picked up an internship at Atlantic Records, and one of the bands that they had just signed, that nobody knew about, was one of those CDs, and it became the soundtrack to my healing. The soundtrack to my journey into new metal. I told Caleb that I love his shirt today because one of the craziest things about this band is as hard as they tried to own their faith in Christianity, they didn't really want to be labeled as a Christian band. Ladies and gentlemen, today I'm wearing a shirt with a cross on it. Stand up, dude. Let me see the
Oh,
bottom line of
oh,
that shit.
oh boy. Well, it's a lot more comedic than yours.
I
What?
know. I know. Dude, listen, this doesn't mean what you think it is either, but today, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Diet of the Soul, we're gonna discuss a band that really tried as hard as they could to use metal, new metal in specific, which is characterized by the combination of rap and rock at the time, in a very courageous way that made a big impact on me. I think you guys are going to enjoy. We're going to listen to 3 tracks from the band P.O.D. Welcome to the Diet of the Soul.
Children, plug your ears. The Diet of the Soul podcast has grown up words.
Ooh, that's the selling point. Yeah, I'm 2000. That's the year of my birth, too.
Alright, don't say that, okay,
Why?
dude?
What? Oh,
I just
oh,
had my
I get it.
I
I
just
get
had my
it.
45th birthday,
Oh,
dude.
right. Yeah.
That means that I was
Sensitive.
your age when this band came out.
Oh, okay.
I was, dude. I was, 20 years old. I was in my first few months of what I considered at the time to be a year-long sentence. I still look back on that experience, and this podcast isn't about that type of shit, so I won't really go too deep into it, but I learned so much from those caring people that, I was deflected from a life that would surely lead me into prison cell or the grave. It woke me up, and, this album, or I should say this band, came to me during that time, and they shook up the scene. They really did. So, I've chosen 3 examples of their early work, um, as talking points, but more I hope you as the listener/viewer or on YouTube, um, to embrace what I now consider to be the introductory steps to open my heart and open my brain to faith. And, it was a huge transition. Now, it should be noted that I was 20 years old when I got put in this program by my own decision making, by the way. I
Hmm,
didn't get forced to do this. I
okay.
wanted to do it because I was sick and tired of being sick and tired, man. I was fucking around with speed and at times heroin, and it was it was a guiding light that got put in my life because I happened to be somebody who was raised in a fortunate financial background. We won't go into that. What I'm trying to tell you people is that it was a pivot point in my life, and this band served alongside fucking Three Doors Down, if you can even believe that, as sort of a soundtrack to a turning point that kept me out of prison, kept me out of the grave, and probably kept me out of a lot of toxic relationships as an adult. Now, the reason why I want to bring this up today, I didn't put this shirt on knowing that this is what I was going to do. This happens to be a coincidence. Um, but dude, listen, if you're somebody who's listening or watching, and you think that this is going to be like a sermon or no, 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 no. We're
Nah,
celebrating music
nah.
here, okay? So, I mean, both of us being Christians, if there's a message that resonates with you and you become curious about Christianity, then fuck yeah, dude. But um, we're talking about music here. And one of the most interesting things about POD is that that Christian metal sort of brand that they had was not one that they were trying to have. It got put on them by marketing companies, management, record companies, that kind of thing. Their whole thing was that they even didn't really wanna be a band that was burdened with representing Christianity, because for them, and like for me, I don't know about you, dude, but it wasn't about the actual organized religion. They really celebrated just a relationship with God, to the point that at the end of their shows, thousands of fans were encouraged to, like, "Stay a while. Come on up. Tell your band, tell the band what the problem was, or like what you're dealing with in life right now, or if you're rejoicing in positive experiences." This was the nature of this band, but they did it in such a controversial way that at points, uh, their music sold the best at Christian stores, like Christian bookstores and music stores and whatnot. Because back then, dude, we didn't have fucking Napster, right? We didn't have
No,
Spotify.
nope.
So these were records that were being sold in stores, and these guys got picked up by a bunch of Christian record slash bookstores. And then at another point in their career, they would be boycotted by Christian bookstores and
What?
record stores. So,
Hey, remind
yeah,
me.
dude.
There was a lot to take in, but it wasn't Three Doors Down you were talking about. What was the band that you wanted to talk about?
P.O.D.
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 Okay. Okay.
P dot O dot D dot, and that stands for payable on death. Which is a banking term that I don't want to get into, but I think this is in the spiritual way. Is that all of the blessings and the grace that we get on our human earth are payable upon death when you go to heaven, right? It's
Yeah, I
so
see.
yeah, they went with POD. Um, and these guys have a fucking story that I just love because the whole time they were trying to say something without being labeled. And they were a multiracial, multinational band based in Southern California that they were just doing their best to make music and their music hit. And I will actually, brother, I will be surprised if you or any of our listeners haven't heard the songs that I'm going to talk about before. But
Okay.
yeah, dude, the
The
lead
only
singer. Go
okay.
ahead. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, because the only Christian Christian rock or just Christian gospel music that I've listened to or bands that I recognize, Switchfoot,
I know that.
Switchfoot, and I did mention last time that like the Chariot and Paramore are considered Christian
Yeah, you
members.
did say
I
that.
did say
Yeah,
that, and that was actually the inspiration for what actually gave you the idea. Was me mentioning that, and you were like, "I think you just gave me an idea of."
I think so.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah,
You're welcome.
thanks, dude.
So yeah, but I haven't
um,
heard of POD though. So, but maybe
well,
I'll hear of their songs.
I don't know, dude. They had some pretty big hits, but then again, you were born the year this album came out, so who knows what the shelf life is on that? But um, yeah, these guys were groundbreaking. So I'm gonna play a song right now that um is literally about where they're from, and dude, it's a fucking banger. It was from what I knew. This is from the album that I got from the girl.
Okay.
Uh, and it just, it's not that it didn't work out. She's we're still friends. She's super special. She's married. I don't even know if they have kids, but like, just a magical soul. Uh, and there were other things in there like candy bars and stuff like that. It was such a thoughtful gesture, but I really locked on to this band. And I didn't know what they meant in the chorus of this song until just recently. So, what I want to share with you, Caleb, and our listeners, probably not their biggest song, but one of their biggest songs. Oh, but dude, I completely screwed up the typing. Here we go. Fat fingered it, dude.
Did your
Official
ex
music video.
did your
Sorry, go
ex
ahead, dude.
did she
No, no.
know if POD was a Christian band, or did she like just know that it was a popular band at the time?
They were not a popular band at the time. That's the thing. She got exclusive access to like these CDs. That's why I said I heard these fuckers before anybody else did.
Oh, that's right. She was an int. Okay, this is
They got the
okay. Yeah,
internship at
it's coming
Atlantic Records.
together. It's coming together. Okay.
Yeah, dude. So Atlantic Records had possession of this music, and she even included a note that was like, just listen to this by yourself. Don't give it to like radio stations or anything like that. This is just for you. And I was so stoked because this dude, when I moved to that town, I knew that the release date for Limp Bizkit's freshman album, no, sorry, sophomore album, um, was available the day after I arrived. And so I went to a local record store and I was like, "Hey, dude, do you have Limp Bizkit's new shit?" And he was like, "Yeah, I'm not allowed to sell it to you until tomorrow though." And I was like, "I have $50." And he goes, "Here you go." So,
I got the
so
hustle.
yeah, dude, I wanted to hear it before everybody else, and it didn't disappoint. But this was like another windfall that I didn't have to. It just showed up in a box, and it was a sweet gift. And this is one of the more notable songs that, you know, I'm just gonna play it for you, dude. I didn't know what it meant. I just knew I fucking loved it. Okay, so here we are. I'm 20 years old. Okay, and I don't know. New metal was just arriving. We talk about this all the time on this podcast,
Yeah, we do.
and it might be oldies to you, dude, but for me, it's a fucking classic. This is Southtown by P.O.D.
I'll say I actually I like it.
That's cool, dude. That's cool. This ethereal guitar shit they do, that's kind of a trademark.
Okay. Yeah, dude, this is solid.
Dude, new metal lives on.
Yeah, it's not like super Christian in your faith, like because a lot of like Christian, like modern Christians, if they try to sound modern, one of the things they would go to is rap like this, but it would be very cheesy. Uh, but this is like um more subtle.
In its faith-based speech. Here's the thing,
Yeah,
Caleb, that we both know is true but very sad, is the very mentioning Christian in the beginning of this podcast probably shed a very good percentage of people who would love to have enjoyed that song.
probably.
And that's specifically why I mentioned it, is to demonstrate that the metrics will probably show that a lot of people are like, "Ah, religion and Christianity, I'm out." Which means that the people who just enjoyed the first verse of that song with us are people that are open to this, and that could be Christians and non-Christians alike. So if there's one non-Christian that's with us right now and this got you curious, then this is exactly what I wanted to do, dude. I wanted to
Okay,
use
hell yeah.
music that you can't prejudge, and if you did, you're fucking gone. So that means you're open-minded to not just the music, but the idea. And I'm not gonna preach here, neither is Caleb.
Mm.
We're just talking about music, dude. But if you hear something in the lyrics that means something to you, you wouldn't be alone. Let's listen to verse 2. The bridge. I'm gonna take this
Yeah.
opportunity to talk about how, other than those kinda ethereal guitar parts, this song is in your fucking face the whole time, dude.
Yeah, and the beginning really it punches you very aggressively and out like surprises you.
Yeah, and then keeps it up.
Yeah, yeah.
Check it out, dude. This is what I'm talking about.
Can you pause it real quick? I don't
So,
know. I don't know what it is. I did want to mention this, but I was trying to like get the idea, try to form the words, but I don't know if it's the video's like bit rate or not the bit rate, but the compression of the audio, or
mm,
if there's like a better recording of it, or there's like a remastered. But I actually like the compression of this, of like
it's interesting that you're hearing that. I wonder if you're hearing it differently than I am in this interface, but,
maybe.
um, that that was, and I don't mean to step on you, dude. I totally interrupted you. I realize that, but that was, um, you know what a waveform looks like on the screen, right? Audio.
Yeah, yeah.
So this was the era where you would look at a waveform and it would just be like a straight bar because compression allowed everything to like be, soft things are louder, loud things are softer.
Hmm.
And I'm going to send you an image and then just put it up here for our YouTube
Yeah,
audience so you
yeah.
can see what I'm talking about. Hard limiters, compressors, all kinds of stuff where that technology was really just super, like, evolving very fast at that time, and it was interesting, I worked in jazz at the time, and but this is just shit I was listening to, but my job was at a jazz station, and even their shit during this time was like, you look at the waveform, and unless it was really quiet, dude, it just looked like a fucking bar, like, somebody did a fucking squiggly line and then just took an X-Acto knife and cut it off. And that's how you could tell it was extremely compressed. This is extremely compressed, but you also have to realize that this was the year 2000.
Yeah.
At the time, we had no idea that there was a thing that you could use that was way smaller than a Walkman. It was called a MP3 player,
Whoa.
and it held all kinds of fucking music, sometimes up to like 60 or 70 songs.
Oh my
And
gosh.
yeah, yeah, dude, and in order to make more songs fit on these things, they would compress them to an MP3 format, which took a lot of the audio data out of the song, but the market knew that none of us, like, were producers and wouldn't even miss certain things, and sometimes they would get so compressed that it sounded, like uh, gargled up or some shit like that, but you're still listening to your song, people weren't like you and me where we wanna, like, hear every bit. We're streaming. I guarantee this is MP3, just a high quality MP3. But it was weird because artists and production studios and producers were trying to make music that would easily compress so that people would buy it on this fucking new thing we hadn't heard of called iTunes. or,
Mm.
download it on Napster and like other pirating software. At least they were getting the music out. So I don't know if that's what you're hearing or the actual compression that was on the
Oh,
record.
to finish, well, yeah, it's fascinating that you do explain this, but to wrap up, what I was actually getting at was I enjoy the compression because it gives it a different style for me. It gives it like this
Okay.
texturing that I actually enjoy. I actually like what the compression gives it in this case. And that's very
Yeah.
rare. That is very rare for me to say that. Uh, Another thing that I did want to mention when I have a story about an MP3. It'll be real quick. I did have an MP3, and it was like this little stick thing. It was black and red,
Mhm,
and the
mhm.
red had like a dial on it. I don't know what the model is or at all, but and then I had like a little tiny screen, and I don't know how many songs I could hold, but I remember like it was my first time having a portable music player at all because I wasn't one of those high school kids that was privileged enough to have like the iPhone 8 at the time, right? So
Okay.
I had a track phone, uh I had a track phone, and that couldn't play good music. So I got an MP3 player for Christmas. I'm like, oh my god, I'm gonna play so much music. And dude, I loved it. I didn't even have that many songs. I was just like played five different songs like on repeat whenever I changed classes.
Hell yeah, dude.
Hell yeah. But um and then at one point I went into what do you call it? Mass media class, which is like a video software class.
Right.
And um somehow it fell out of my front pocket. I forget how this happened, or but it fell onto the other side of the table, and it was like during a
Mhm.
presentation. So I couldn't just like get up and grab it without disturbing anybody. So I was like, "Oh no, I have to just like let that be for now." And then and
Oh,
then a
god.
test, like some kind of test came up, and then the teacher was like walking around checking all of us, and then like I heard a crunch. I'm like, fuck.
No.
And I was
Oh,
like, I
no.
knew this would happen. And then he was like, oh, what is this? It was is this an MP3 player? Where did this come from? I don't know. I'm just gonna put this in the trash. I'm like, oh my god. I
You
was
didn't claim it?
I know. I just stayed silent. I was like, that was mine. He was the most humiliating, like soul crushing thing that ever happened to me in school.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah. Anyway, MP3 players.
Because it was so outdated, you didn't wanna be the one that was like
It
the
was just so
MP3 player
embarrassing
kid?
because if I did say it, I was like, it was mine. And he was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I didn't want to make a scene like that. So I was like, I'll, I'll just stay quiet and let it be. I didn't want to put like a spotlight on that. So that's all. It wasn't because it was like an MP3 and it was like, oh, this kid doesn't have an iPhone 8, bro. What the hell?
Oh,
So
man.
it wasn't like that, but anyway, yeah.
I mean, it's a funny story, but I do kinda feel bad for that kid, right? Like, but we all go through experiences like that in school, you know?
Yeah, yeah, we do.
Anyway,
Yeah,
good.
we have a little
I'm
bit of the
glad you
song
shared
left.
that though. Yeah. Um, to bring it back, this was the age of the MP3 player, and, it was see, like, your story is like, "Oh my god, I didn't have the iPhone 8." For me, I was walking around with a fucking Discman,
Yeah,
being like, "I don't even know what is an MP3? I don't even know what the fuck you're talking about." So, I didn't drop it on the floor or anything, but a fucking Discman was bigger than a CD, so it was very hard to hide.
yeah,
And it got to the point where if you saw a kid with headphones and a backpack, it's because he doesn't have a fucking MP3 player, and he needs his backpack to hold that fucking
this
Discman that
man.
he's listening to. I was that guy, so
You
I
were
can
that
I can
kid.
totally relate.
Okay.
And one of those CDs was this CD. I would
P.O.D.
listen to it incessantly with my backpack and my fucking big old cans walking down the street in Oregon. And this was the song that really, I think, put them on the scene on MTV, but we'll talk about that after. Let's finish up Southtown.
Ooh. Ooh,
Hey, metal.
nice.
Yeah,
Stay
dude.
metal.
Yeah, that's what it said on the screen if you guys aren't watching on YouTube. But yeah, stay metal, dude. I wasn't expecting that at all.
Hey, he knows what's up.
Fuck yeah, dude. And I mean, that song is metal as shit, right?
Yeah, yeah, dude. That it comes out, it like surprises you right at the beginning, and then like I said, it was like tight the whole way through, and then
Yeah.
uh, huge handbanger at the end.
Well, and I think that was track 1 on that album, Southtown. Um, and I said before we played it that I never knew what it meant. I did know they were from Southern California, but, um, I didn't know where. And there's a suburb of San Diego, the name of which I can't immediately recall, but it doesn't matter because nobody calls it that. They call it Southtown. And Southtown was a mix of cultures. You had black, Asian, white, the Mexican, obviously, being so close to the border. It was the southern part of San Diego. So it was dangerous. It was, um, it was a lot like South Central LA, and our lead singer, fuck, I should know his name, dude. God damn it. I'll look it up right now. But our lead singer's dad was a fucking felon, drug addict who found Christ. And what is it? P.O.D. lead singer. Um, Sonny Sandoval. That's right.
Sonny
Sonny's dad,
Sandoval.
Sonny Sandoval. Yeah. Um, he was mixed Mexican, uh, living in a tough area. His dad was a drug addict, a fucking felon. Uh, you know, and then his dad, started to feel like he was estranged, right? His mom kicked him out. And dad was, out there fucking doing junkie shit. And here Sonny's growing up in a complicated area. And, you could look up pictures of him. Actually, when you edit this, you could put up pictures of him. He's got dreads. He's all tatted out. But one day his dad showed up again, vowed to be sober, found Christ, and actually, like, the wife took him back in, and he lived a stand-up lifestyle. And, Sonny, being a at-risk youth, um, in a tough area, took inspiration from his dad and, started to experiment with the happiness that faith brings. And the last song on this podcast is going to be about not the faith, not the religion, but the happiness that
Huh.
comes from making a discovery like this. But before we listen to that song, we have to listen to a song that addresses something that at the time was kind of an obscure issue. And today, fucking 23 years later, 24 years later, is a daily discussion. Back then, it was a new thing, and it's not a positive thing. But this is a positive take on the thing that unfortunately has become all too well known in America today. So I'm going to bring up a song that continues to make quite an impact um, as the national narrative continues to change. I feel that it makes this song by P.O.D. more and more relevant the deeper we get into this hole in this country. Um, I got to type it in and then see how many times I get rejected. Oh, not
Ooh,
even once,
not
dude.
even once, bro.
All in one, baby. Hell yeah, dude.
All
This
right.
is POD's The Youth of the Nation.
Let's go.
I'm going to start it over, dude, because I kind of fucked it up. When you listen to this song was written because in Southtown, there was a school shooting.
Okay.
So I teased the issues that it's about, which is a, excuse me, daily issue in this country now, but I failed to name what it was. When you're listening to this song, know that this song was written and recorded in response to a tragic event that happened in their area. All right, sorry guys. I'm a professional broadcaster. I should be better, right?
Come on.
God damn it. Freaking screwed it up, Colin. Fucking. All right, here we go.
This is one of the most 2000s cover I've ever seen.
Yeah, they look pretty 2000 for sure. Caleb and I are staring at the album cover for this song, or at least the song cover. Yeah, it looks pretty 2000.
Last day of the rest of my life, I wish I would've known, cause I didn't kiss my mama goodbye. I didn't tell her that I loved her, how much I cared. I thank my pops for all the talks and all the wisdom he shared. Unaware, I just did what I always do. Every day the same routine before I skate off to school. But who knew that this day wasn't like the rest? Instead of taking the test, I took 2 to the chest. Call me blind, but I didn't see it coming. Everybody was running, but I couldn't hear nothing except gun blast. It happened so fast, I didn't really notice kid the white survived in class. Maybe this kid was reaching out for love.
That's not a bass. That's a guitar, right?
Or maybe this kid just wanted to be hugged. Whatever it was.
So we're hearing a very solid lick laid down by the drums and the bass. And that ethereal sound that we addressed in the last song is being carried by the electric guitar. So
Yeah.
it sounds like but the dude, oh, you have, sorry, man, my mic was far away. This was dude, look at Rage Against the Machine, um, Deftones. At the same chapter, so much relied on a hip hop-esque beat,
Mm-hmm.
and that was the bassist and the drummer's job, dude. Limp Bizkit, same thing. Wes Borland usually, I mean, in the hard riffs, the guitarist chimes in, but in these more like verse bridge parts, they're just kind of like doing like a overlaying loop while the drummer and the bassist sort of keep the groove. So I'm gonna back it up so we can listen to that verse again because fuck, dude, it's actually been a long time since I heard those lyrics. They're easy to understand.
Yeah.
They're The delivery is so clean, and we know that we already know this is a kid that went to school not knowing he was gonna get shot, right? So it's again, that's why I'm saying it's like more poignant today than it was back then.
Yeah.
We didn't talk about this back then. So let's listen to that verse one more time, paying attention to how fucking tightly the drummer and the bassist hold it down. But this vocalist, Sonny, is a lyricist, like one of the best. And I just wish these guys didn't go away. Maybe they didn't. I don't know. I haven't looked. Also on the album cover, you notice that there is a almost Irish looking triple like clover kind of a
Yeah.
thing
Yeah.
that represents the Holy Trinity.
Oh, I never did.
wonder how much I care. To thank my pops for all the talks and all the wisdom he shared. Unaware, I just did what I always do. Every day the same routine before I skate off to school. But who knew that this day wasn't like the rest? Instead of taking the test, I took 2 to the chest. Call me blind, but I didn't see it coming. And everybody was running, but I couldn't hear nothing except gun blast. It happened so fast, I didn't really know this kid, though I survived in class. Maybe this kid was reaching out for love, or maybe for a moment he forgot who he was, or maybe this kid just wanted to be hugged. Whatever it was, I know it's because we are the youth of the nation. We are youth of the nation. We are the youth of the nation. We are youth of the nation. Little Susie, she was only 12. She was given the world with every chance to excel. Hang with the boys and hear the stories they tell. She might act kind of proud, but no respect for herself. She finds love in all the wrong places. The same situations, just different faces. Changed up her pace since her daddy left her. Too bad he never told her she deserved much better. Johnny boy always played the fool. He broke all the rules so you would think he was cool. He was never really one of the guys. No matter how hard he tried, up the thought of suicide. It's kind of hard when you ain't got no friends. He put his life to an end. They might remember him then. You cross the line and there's no turning back. Told the world how he felt with the sound of a gat. We are
Yeah, pause it.
the youth of
Okay, so here are my thoughts, dude. First of
I
all,
did.
you're
Before you go,
okay,
real quick.
okay.
Dude, the more we do this, the better we get, where we like want to pause at the same time and like,
Yeah.
like I knew you had something to say. And dude, that is like the funnest thing for me about all this. All right, now go.
Okay. Uh First of all, I think you're really hook, line, and sinkering me into this band.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Dude, this is like a band that dude, I'm gonna do a deep dive now. Uh
Dude, I saw it, dude, when the chorus hit, because the chorus is my favorite part, and you're just
yeah, dude.
like
Okay, yeah, listeners, if you're watching, I'm like streaking my hair back and I'm like, damn.
yeah, dude. It was
Uh
yeah,
I
it was like
really
a
want to
glorious
say
face
though,
palm.
I really want to say it's hard. Uh Going back to like the cheesiness of it, like about Christian rap, about rapping about difficult problems, it almost seems like it's also cheesy a little bit, like rapping about anything other than like hip hop's culture is always
Yeah, like
kind of cheesy
bitches,
in a
money,
way.
and yeah.
Yeah, and it's
Yeah, I
such
understand.
a fine line of doing it right and doing it wrong, and trying
I would
to get
agree
a
with that
message and
completely.
trying to like hit people like in their soul, like how it is how it like how it's doing it with me right now. Like you can tell it's hitting me at my soul because they're doing it right. At least to me,
Fuck
they're
yeah,
really
dude.
doing it right. They're not making this awkward in any way. And I think that's also because the licks that this guy is rapping is like impressive.
Hell yeah, dude.
Oh my god, dude.
I know. Super talented, dude. And these guys were coming up at the same time as like Rage Against the Machine and Zach De La. I actually fucking heard somebody pronounce it Zach De La Rocha. I know him as Zach De La Roca, the lead singer of Rage Against the Machine. I believe was equally talented. I believe these guys were playing on the same field. And I don't know what happened in P.O.D.'s camp where they didn't hit legendary status like Rage did, but you know, it's not just the music, it's not just the talent, it's the ability of management and marketing and even, distribution and packaging and all kinds. So many things go into what makes a band legendary or not. But I'm so glad it's resonating with you like that because I'm with you, dude. This isn't just good, it's great.
Yeah.
And it's greatly produced, it's greatly performed, it's greatly written. I mean, I'm gonna back it up again because I I feel like the stuff that I want to bring to the Diet of the Soul should be not just heard, but listened to, but also studied on a certain level, not at the cost of the experience. But I'm going to back it up just so we could hear the pre-chorus going into the chorus, that transition, and try to see if you're as surprised as Caleb was,
One more
because you got
second.
serious, dude.
And one more
Yeah, no,
second,
I'll
just
let you.
to
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
solidify one more thing. It's POD is like actually not trying to be on a podium. They're actually expressing their talent.
Beautifully said. Absolutely,
There
dude.
you go.
Absolutely. And they were that way in the way that they sort of approached the public in Los Angeles. They were getting played on K-Rock. If you're not from Los Angeles, look up K-Rock. Every single alternative band for like since the beginning of the genre premieres their shit on KROQ 106.7. But they didn't want they almost didn't want it, you know? Um As in, like, they wanted the fame and they wanted the success and they wanted the fortune. They just didn't want it that way, because people were they did not preach their beliefs, they just were not ashamed of them, and were not ashamed of talking about them as motivation for the music, but the media at the time desperately wanted to say, what I think Caleb is saying, but in a perverted way, which is, we finally have a fucking Christian rock band that doesn't suck. And that's kinda how we all felt because, you got Christian rock and everybody was like, "Christian rock?" Like, but
Okay.
we were too yeah, we were too busy being mad at our dads, like, um, but these guys came onto the scene and we didn't know that they were Christian rock because we were just hearing this and we're like, "Holy shit, dude, this guy can fucking spit raps and I love the riffs. It fit really well into what we were hearing, and then after a lot of us got impacted by the music, and I'm talking after it officially came out. Again, I was privy to this music long before it came out, and I loved it. Uh, we didn't know the whole Christian thing, and so they got like a huge following base, and then all of these fucking magazines and like rock magazines, guitar magazines, and shit like that started coming out telling everybody that these guys are Christian. And they weren't necessarily on board with that because they felt that it turned people away. And uh, just because of that moniker, they didn't really want it. They just wanted it to be rock that was performed by Christians, not necessarily Christian rock. And so those of us who could see through that shit, we got fucking gems like
Hell
this
yeah.
song. And so grateful for it too, right?
Since her daddy left her, too bad he never told her she deserved much better. Johnny boy always played the fool. He broke all the rules so you would think he was cool. He was never really one of the guys, no matter how hard he tried, up the thought of suicide. It's kind of hard when you ain't got no friends. He put his life to an end, they might remember him then. You cross the line and there's no turning back. Told the world how he felt with the sound of a gat. We are the youth of the nation. We are youth of the nation. We are the youth of the nation. We are youth of the nation.
Oh. Hello. Yeah, that's keyboard.
Who's to blame for the life the tragedies claim? No matter what you say, it don't take away the pain that I feel inside. I'm tired of all the lies. Don't nobody know why. It's the blind leading the blind. Guess that's the way that the story goes. Will it ever make sense? Somebody's gotta know. There's gotta be more to life than this.
Oh, you can hear on the right ear. You can faintly hear like a egg, like a shaker egg, or a cha-cha, whatever you call it.
Yeah, no, it's egg shaker.
Egg
Yeah,
shaker, yeah.
yeah, or a shaker. Yeah, and you know what? You also notice in this last verse, that the drummer is hitting the crash cymbal on the one count of every measure, which is interesting. In my opinion, unnecessary. It's one of the things about the song that I don't necessarily care for. I'll back it up so you could hear it though.
Yeah.
Just the shaker, like it almost felt like they were trying too hard to like change it up. Um, I personally think that they should have gone like a little different direction. Maybe made this like a little harder instead of adding like a jazzy little shaker and crash cymbals. I think that they had, but then again, I'm going to go on record before you hear this. This is not the climax of the song. You're about to hear what actually becomes the climax of this song, and I'm not going to say anymore. Let's check it out.
Who's to blame for the life the tragedies claim? No matter what you say, it don't take away the pain that I feel inside. I'm tired of all the lies. Don't nobody know why. It's the blind leading the blind. Guess that's the way that the story goes. Will it ever make sense? Somebody's gotta know. There's gotta be more to life than this. There's gotta be more to everything I thought exists.
We are the youth of the nation. We are
Not yet.
youth of the nation. We are the youth of the nation. We are youth of the nation.
It gave me Pink Floyd The Wall vibes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hmm.
So the climax of the song, in my opinion, is the introduction of the children's voice. And we were right there when we were just
Interesting.
talking. Another interesting thing about that is that those weren't children. Those were vocalists brought in according to their sort of childish sounding voice, because actually bringing children in to sing is in a is against child labor laws in California.
Okay, okay. Understandable.
So I was actually a professional choir. So
Huh.
that I only just learned that, but I mean, the pain of the song is the pain that the Southtown community felt when this happened. Our first verse is about somebody who comes to school not knowing he's going to get shot today. A next one is about somebody coming to school, excuse me, with the intention of, you know, uh, forever sleeping himself is a
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
good way to
yeah.
put it.
Logging out of the Minecraft server,
But
as the kids would say.
yeah, exactly. Um, yeah, and you know what? I feel like it's so like humorously time correct because he finishes that verse by saying he told the world how he felt with the sound of a gat.
Yeah, I heard that.
Yeah. Yeah. You know what a gat is?
I could get an idea, but I don't know the literal definition.
It's a pistol.
Yeah,
My Glock is a gat, like a gat. That's what we used to call it back in the day. Was a gat.
yeah.
Bust a cap from my gat.
The kid from a
And
kid.
I yeah, hell yeah. So that's a little bit of a downer. So let's swing it back up a little bit. Um, there's been some talk about a little bit of this Christianity thing going on with this band and with us, and that's cool. If you're still with us, with all that being said, these guys actually went out of their way to make a song that describes what it feels like to really connect with not just Christ, but other believers and other people who maybe they don't believe in Christ necessarily, but they are spiritual in nature and convicted about it, I'm not really gonna say anything more than that. I'm just gonna bring it up because I think the song speaks for itself. If if we're not blocked. If we get blocked, dude, that's the enemy right there,
Uh,
dude.
it's fine.
Yeah, fuck it, dude. The song speaks for itself.
Okay.
Another hole in one. Here we go. This is Alive. I don't know why it's didn't. I'm gonna going back to the beginning, dude. I had an
Okay.
ad for some Japanese
Oh.
shit.
Oh.
Every day is a new day. I'm thankful for every breath I take. I won't take it for granted. So I learn from my mistakes. It's beyond my control, so just best to let go. Whatever happens in this lifetime. So I trust in love. You have given me peace of mind. I feel so alive for the very first time. I can't deny you. I feel so alive. I feel so alive for the very first time, and I think I can fly. Sunshine upon my face, a new song for me to sing. Tell the world how I feel inside, even though it might cost me everything. Now that I know this will be all I control, this I can never turn my back away. Now that I see you, I can never look away. I feel so alive for the very first time. I can't deny you. I feel so alive. I feel so alive for the very first time, and I think I can fly. And now that I know you, I could never turn my back away. And now that I see you, I could never look away. And now that I know you, I could never turn my back away. And now that I see you, I believe no matter what they say. I feel so alive for the very first time. I can't deny you. I feel so alive. I feel so alive for the very first time, and I think I can fly.
Man, I almost wish P.O.D. I almost wish I discovered these guys when I got first saved, because I would have eaten their stuff up quickly.
Oh, you're about to, dude.
I'm about to.
I know that feeling.
But
Oh, you're about to.
but I wish I just could have been sooner. You know.
Very first time, and I think I can fly. And I think I can
Stay metal.
Hell yeah, dude. See, that's why I brought it, dude. Look, the religious undertones are what they are. Okay. If that turns you off, good luck to you. But, if you guys are still with us and having the same reaction, see, the thing is, that song that we just listened to was their biggest fucking hit. A song about,
Oh.
yeah, a song about feeling alive. Doesn't really push the Christian narrative necessarily, but if you're a Christian, it can speak to you. Like, I think we both know what he's talking about,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it absolutely floated on mainstream radio just because it was a sick fucking song. And it's unfortunate while listening to that song, I think I know why we still know about Rage Against the Machine and not P.O.D. And I think that the news media and the gossip media, metal media, the fucking magazines I was talking about, build them as a Christian band without their consent, so they ended up getting pushed off to the side. So there were some songs that they released that got them sort of uh, not barricaded. What is it? Boycotted at the Christian store level. That they made enemies there because there was a lot of hyper religious Christian people who thought that the sound was too aggressive, did not represent faith well. You know, uh, they, as you know, with the second song, a school shooting, they tackled controversial topics and stuff like that. And it's interesting that POD, at a certain point in their career, almost despised the Christian church as much as they followed it because they were putting labels on him, the media or on them, the media was putting labels on them. And that was never their thing. They just wanted to play music and they were writing about what they felt passionate about. And that was their
That's
faith and
it's
how they interacted with each
so
other.
ridiculous that one side is like, you're Christian, so you're not a part of us. And then the church is like, no, you're not Christian enough, so you're actually one of them. So it's like, no, you're one of them. No, you're actually one of them. So they're like, it's like everyone's like pulling them apart by two sides. It's God, it's so weird. And I think I was thinking about this just now. The labeling of specifically of a Christian band. I think because you brought up Rage Against the Machine, because that tackled like the emotion of being angry about
Hmm.
the political movements, about the political power,
Hmm.
and that connected with the majority of people. Whereas, yeah, you have POD as a Christian band, but that's just it. Even though they're good, they're labeled as Christian band. Oh, they're Christian, so therefore they're this, and we don't connect with this. So you're already with the label. You're already gonna lose. Yeah, you see. It's going back to what you said, like with our listeners. We might have, with you just saying the word Christian. Yeah, we might as well have lost some listeners already by the beginning of the
Hmm.
episode. That's what I'm trying
Right.
to get at. Is yeah, it's a tricky word. It already gives that meaning of, oh, you're a Christian, so here are your values, and I don't connect with that already, so I don't care what else you're gonna have to talk about, because I'm just gonna expect you to talk about your faith all the time, 24/7, 365. It's
Beautifully said, dude.
God, it's
Yeah.
such
It's a
yeah, it's a
shame.
shame.
You know, what I try to focus on is here, let's do a little research real quick. I'm gonna take that last song. I'm gonna go to Spotify on my telephone right now. And who even calls it a telephone anymore?
You unironically said telephone.
How stupid. I'm going to take out my
You're
telephone.
45 years old.
Telephone. Tell me what I want to know, telephone. Magic mirror on the wall. So funny. I'm going to remove my telephone from my trousers.
I was gonna also say, I'm surprised Alive was their best hit, because I think so far from out of the three that you shared, uh, not Southtown. What was the school shooting one called? Youth
Youth
of the
of the
Nation.
Nation.
I think that was their best so far.
Well, you're going to be super interested to hear this.
Okay.
Um, Alive, which at the time was their biggest hit.
Okay.
I'm looking down because Caleb's on my screen down here. Comes in at 138,594,361 plays as of the recording of this podcast.
Oh, okay.
Youth of the Nation comes in at 265,800,000 822,283 listens on Spotify as of this recording. So I think it's really interesting that,
Interesting.
yes, Alive was their biggest hit when it came out. But as we discussed before playing Youth of the Nation, the subject matter is a little bit more of a daily topic of conversation here in America. And so it has almost double. No, sorry. Yeah, just shy of double
Yeah.
the amount of attention that is being gotten by Alive. But they were a band with a positive message, a positive outlook on life. I think that labeling them a quote unquote Christian band kind of did them dirty in the long run. But when I see 138 million or 200 and whatever fuck million that I just saw, are those are all people that have potentially been exposed to the quality of existence that comes from acknowledging the idea you might have faith in something. And whether it's Christ or not, obviously it's angled toward Christ. But what I'm trying to say is between those two songs, dude, that's almost fucking here. Yeah, that's almost 500 million people, dude.
Hmm.
That's a lot of people. And if you take the second one, which has 173 million, I mean, brother, we're getting close to 100 million people that have been exposed to the positivity that is woven into their music. And those are plays, dude. Those aren't articles written about them. Those
Yeah.
aren't fucking, blog posts written about them. Those are people who are receiving what I think it was they were trying to serve up, whether they knew it or not, right? So, yeah, it's sad that they're gone. But
Did they break
um,
up?
you know what, dude? I thought that I would leave that open to commenters
Oh, okay.
because I don't actually know where POD ended up, and I went out of my way to not learn. Only because I was there for their birth. That's how I see it, because I got the record before anybody else. But um, yeah, dude, it's like one of those things. Yeah, I was there when you were born. I don't want to know if you died or not. But let us know. I'm like not pissing on the idea. I'm just saying, like, let us know. You guys tell us
Hmm.
what happened to POD. And if you're correct and you fucking like like come legit with real information, we'll pin your fucking comment and we'll send you a Diet Out of the Soul fucking t-shirt or something. But
There's something.
yeah, be the guy that knows. We want to know. Because I have no idea what the answer to that question is, dude.
Okay.
Yeah, there you go, dude. I hope
Oh,
that
that
you and
was
our listeners like slide down the slippery slope of fucking slapping like straight up. This is new metal shit. I get that it's dated. I get that it's dated, but I would argue that the shit still stands, dude.
it does?
Fuck, dude. The Sticks were fucking shit in like 1995. Nobody cared. You know, it's been 10 years, dude. Fucking Michael Jackson, you know, like out shot, like outshined you guys. You know what I mean? Shit moved fast. Now shit's moving so fast that we hold on to the stuff that didn't move so fast. And all this shit, dude, early 2000s, I'll quit now. I just say it stands up just as hard today, dude. POD stands for payment on death. Live every life the best that you can. And when you're checking out music, dude, just pay a lot of attention. Thanks for doing this with me, man.
This was a golden episode, dude. This was like S tier for all the laughs we had and all the good music you shared and like the topics we talked about. Dude,
Okay.
this is a major highlight episode. Hell yeah.
Sweet, dude. Well, hey, we're talking about like it's blessed right? Right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, at least that's what we believe, dude. It's hard to be sad when you're talking about the Lord. So, there you go. All right, my man.
All
Pre-
right. Yeah, and Instagram for social media at the
Oh yeah.
the Diet of the Soul, and YouTube if you want to know where we're at, where to watch us, and where to comment even. Uh, at Big Brain Media Pods. Yeah,
There you go,
there
dude.
you go.
Look at Caleb doing the housekeeping because I forgot. Thanks for listening. We'll see you later.
Rock on, ladies and gentlemen.
After the episode, Colin and Caleb reflect on what made the episode fun for them, which then evolved into talking about Colin's ADD and shirt designs. Enjoy!
That felt so good with the stuff that I talked about too. That was like, oh my god, that's this like those kinds of comments that I gave, like that would have been stuff that I would have thought of later, like in my head, and I was like, and I would have been
Yeah.
like, oh, I wish I could have told that to Colin because there's been times regarding other episodes it's been like that, but finally I had a
Uh,
chance to solidify what I'm talking about and uh say what I want to exactly.
yeah. Well,
That felt
and
good.
there was one time there that I completely stole the shit from you, and I didn't mean to, and you like didn't just like let it go. You were like, I still have something to say, and I was like, fuck yeah, dude. There you go. Own it, dude. That made me proud for sure. Because I'm ADD, dude. I could just go off talking. You've heard that, you know.
I mentioned this to mom and dad. I'm like, he's ADD, so like it's like trying to merge into a highway sometimes. Like I'm not trying to offend you, but it's like trying to like
Dude. I'm gonna put that on a fucking shirt, dude.
I'm so
I'm not
fucking
even kidding.
I'm still recording, so I might actually put this in.
uh, holy shit, that's funny, man. I'm gonna tell that to your sister. She's gonna fucking bust a
Trying to talk to me is like trying to merge onto a highway.
Oh my god. No lie, dude. I'm gonna make that a shirt.
You need to.
Oh my god. I'm gonna do like a map of a highway with a dotted line, and it just says me with ADHD. And then I'm gonna do an on ramp, and it just says other people.
There you go. That
That's
works.
I swear to God, I'm doing it,
Oh
dude. That's funny, man.
god.
Yo, speaking of t-shirts, dude, I mentioned the cross on here. Do you see it close enough to see what it's made up of?
Oh no, not really.
All right, I'm gonna turn this light up real quick.
I noticed there's indentions and there's highlights at the hilt. Okay. I don't know what it's made up of. Is it supposed to be
Okay.
a sword?
It's a cross,
It's
dude,
a cross.
but these are two pistols facing each
Oh,
other.
they're pistols. Okay. I thought you were
Here.
talking about like the material of like the cross.
Man, I was trying to see if you knew what the image was.
Oh, now I can see they're actually like golden pistols. Okay, that's actually a much cooler shirt now that I see it.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, it's actual like gold, like shiny gold.
Yeah. That's actually
And
pretty nice.
they're Colt 1911 fucking 45 caliber.
Nice. Has that Corona font.
Yeah, dude. Colt 45, just to play on words. Because guys who have 1911s are like in a fucking cult, so it's kind of making fun of that, you know?
Okay.
So, yeah, that's the new shirt. You want one?
That would be cool. Yeah, that'd be. I mean, I'm not into guns, but that's a cool design though. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send you the design. If you want one, I'll make you one.
Dude, I have to say, I find it really funny because of how bright that light is at your end. it's actually making my TV brighter. So it's like actually the brightness is traveling through my screen. It's so damn bright.
There you go. Well, I'm wearing all white too.
Yeah.
Big brain.